Hi guys, welcome to another portion of Straight Talk. Let's do Ephesians Chapter 3 today. When we look at Ephesians Chapter 3, Paul says something very important. He talks about the mission of the church to the lost world. But he talks about this mission of the church first by stating the fact in about verse 6. He says, to be specific, that the Gentiles are fellow heirs and fellow members of the body and fellow partakers of the promise in Christ Jesus through the gospel. You see, there was a mystery that he talked about. And he said this mystery wasn't known beforehand. In verse number 3, he says that by revelation there was made known to me the mystery, as I wrote before in brief. By referring to this, when you read, you can understand my insight into the mystery of Christ, in which in other generations was not made known to the sons of men, as it has now been revealed to his holy apostles and prophets in the Spirit. Paul says there was a mystery that wasn't made known to the sons of men. Nobody knew about this mystery, but it's been revealed to him, and it's been made known now. And so it's been revealed, he says, to his holy apostles, prophets, and in the Spirit. So what is this mystery? Well, he spells it out in verse number 6. Pretty plain. He says, to be specific, that the Gentiles are fellow heirs and fellow members of the body, and fellow partakers of the promise in Christ Jesus through the gospel. The mystery now is that the Gentiles, see, the Jews thought they were the chosen people and nobody else had access to God. Paul says that was all a mystery. It was kept from the people on purpose. But now it's been revealed that Jesus is for everyone. So the mission of the church is to share this good news to the lost world. So the question, I guess, that comes up is, why would God keep this a mystery? Why was it a mystery from all of God's people from the beginning until at this point when Paul is revealing this mystery? I think if we understand that, it helps us to understand our mission as the church. You see, when this was kept a secret, even the angels, the Bible tells us, wanted to know what this mystery was, but nobody knew. God didn't tell anyone, didn't let anybody know. And so as we look at this mystery, we can understand now how Satan himself, as he stirred up the Jews to be jealous towards the Son of Man, because we remember how Satan tried to prevent Jesus from even being born, tried to have him executed. He tried to tempt him when he was born. He tried everything he could to destroy the church, but he couldn't do it until he stirred up the Jews to crucify Jesus. See, when Satan did that, he thought he won. He thought he had killed the Son of God, not realizing what he had actually done was fulfilled the mission that God had from the beginning, for Jesus to die for the sins of the world. See, Satan didn't even realize that God was using him to fulfill his mission. Satan thought he had won. In reality, all he did was to get the church started by having a hand in crucifying the Son of God. That's a powerful thought. It lets us know just how powerful God is, and in his wisdom, how he established the church to be in the mission field, sharing the good news to the world, how everyone now has the ability to come to Christ, to have their sins washed away, and let God add them to the church. Satan played an important part, an important role in that, because it was a mystery, hidden from even the angels from the beginning. Satan had no clue. He was clueless. See, and that's the thing about sin. That's the thing about Satan. He's clueless. He thinks he's winning. In reality, he's already lost. And now he understands that. He understands he only has a short time. And that's why he's working tirelessly, day and night, to try and pull people away. Because he, in fact, had a hand in establishing the church. And he hates God for that. And he hates you and I for loving and trusting in God. And that's why we have to be diligent in resisting sin, resisting Satan. And he'll flee from you because he has no power. The only power Satan has is what we give him. Oh, and that can be powerful. Once we give in to the temptations of the world, the lusts of the flesh, the eyes, once we give in to that, Satan gets into our hearts and hardens our heart, and we obey those desires and those lusts. But God says through Paul in Ephesians Chapter 3 that there was a mystery from the beginning, and that was for the church to be available to the lost world, and how Satan had a hand in the crucifixion of Christ, because that's where the gospel began. The gospel, you see, verse 17 in chapter 3 says, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ, which surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled up to all the fullness of God. See, now that we can see why God kept it a secret, we can see how he put his plan in motion and had it fulfilled, and even used Satan to fulfill his plan. We see as the church, our mission is to share this good news with the world, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. We need to put all of our faith in Christ. We need to learn how to be rooted and grounded in love, not hate, not bigotry, not selfishness, but in love. Love for God and love for one another. You see, he says, maybe we'll be able to comprehend what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ. Maybe we can comprehend just how great the love of Christ is. And that will help us to share that love with others. Live a life of love and faith. That's our mission, to share Jesus with the world. That's our mission. This is just straight talk. It's straight talk from me to you. Have a great day.